Oh yeah, you can do all the affirmations in the world. You can, write down your wishes on a vision board and cut up all the magazines you want to make it beautiful. But if you don't take action, nothing will happen. That's the human game, right? I mean, this month we're talking about the contributor archetype, the contributor in you. The contributor is the hard worker, but it doesn't have to work hard. See, the contributor part of us takes action and does stuff because we're inspired to, because we're fired up. And there's a reason why the contributor comes in this month. It's because it's summertime, it's warm, we're still like go-getters. And a lot of spiritual people, or even people that are very professional on one side but spiritual on the other, and their, church never meets work, they get confused about this. They think, well, taking action belongs at work, and that's taking action my boss tells me to take, or taking action for the project. But personal development and spirituality also requires action. I was raised Catholic, and being a lover of Jesus, that guy was all about taking action. Pick up your cross, he'd say, follow me. You want to do good things? Do good things. Sometimes it requires sacrifice. Sometimes it requires blood, sweat, and tears. And that part of you, the contributor, is welcome and necessary as a leader. I tell you what, nobody really respects a leader who hasn't done their own work, or who avoids doing any work and just kind of vampires off the successes of their people. No. What does your contributor part feel passionate about doing? What are the actions that you take that feel so aligned? What is it that you will get carried away with and stay up all night working on because you love it so much? That's where your contributor lives. And this part of the contributor comes right after the specialist, because you just figured out what the core of your specialty is, and now you're going to move from that specialty and take action. Let's not get this confused with overworking. Overworking and that puritanical work ethic thing that says you're not worthy unless you're working until blood is coming out your sweat pores, that is neither holy nor intelligent. Instead, the contributor moves from inspiration and moves from a genuine, joyful desire to serve. My partner, he's such a servant leader, he would say. And what that means to him is that as a principal of a school, he'll do the work. He'll just show up and do it, and people will join in. And he leads by doing. He leads by humble service. And that type of leadership, I feel, is often undervalued in our sort of status glorifying culture. And yet, if you ask the team who they really respect, they're going to respect the person who's actually showing up and putting their own feet on the turf and making it happen. People who show up in service from a fake place or from a forced place make other people uncomfortable. Have you noticed this? Like if somebody shows up and is really dragging their feet, then the whole team is going to feel that and be affected. But somebody who shows up with some enthusiasm and a desire to get going, that is infectious to the whole team. And I bet you've noticed that organizations, the spirit of the whole organization often follows the spirit of the founder, of the CEO, the leader, the chief visionary officer. And if they are in right relationship with their contributor archetype, if they're taking action that's inspired and comes from a place of joyful service, people feel it, and it inspires and lifts the whole culture, the whole organizational culture. So I would ask you, when you take a little audit of your work right now, of what's on your plate right now, what are you slogging through? What feels heavy and onerous? Is it possible to delegate that? Is it possible to switch that out so that you are working on something that genuinely brings out your contributor, your passionate, excited, inspired part? I work with a lot of business founders, and they resist hiring people that they actually need because they think, A, they should be doing everything in order to be worthy, B, that they're going to do it better than everyone. I used to think that. That was super arrogant and wrong. And C, that they can't afford to hire anybody. But it never fails. If we do this assessment to see, well, which part is your true contribution? And which part could you hand off? And who is actually suited in their contributor archetype to take on that work? When you actually stop and tease those apart, gosh, it never fails that hiring that person, bringing in someone who's well suited, not bringing in another person who's just like you, that doesn't work, but bringing in someone that's well suited to do the things that you don't feel naturally inclined to do, that always is going to be generative. It's going to generate more business. It's going to create better results for the simple reason that your ass being dragged around slogging through things sours the whole project. The leader, that's you, sets the tone. So it's time for an audit. And if you need some help with this, this is the kind of thing I do. I'm an intuitive business strategist, so I look deeply into you to see what's really lighting you up and what's not, because sometimes you've been fooling yourself for years about what is truly yours to do and what really needs to go to someone else. And I must admit that making these realizations, it can often feel like a challenge that's deeper than it even seems. So get some support and know that this is a holistic healing opportunity as well as a business growth opportunity. You are a contributor. Make the right contribution and everything is going to go better.